All right, good afternoon.
Here we are.
Welcome.
Hey.
So, welcome to Elevated Intel. Today's Friday, and it's 4:20, and that means it's time for Florida Cannabis Action Network to give you some elevated intel. I am Jodi James, president of the organization. Thrilled to be here today with Colette Florido, our VP and founder of CR World. You can find come crworld.com and check out the great cannabis CBD cold pressed infused products that are available because we like whole plant products. Also with us today is Hector Roos. You got promoted today.
I did.
Yeah, you're like a founder and all kinds of stuff. It was great. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, there was credit on mine that I just didn't get. We are actually all together today at the Parabola Center's program, People Over Profits.
Yeah,
We're at
very
the
cool space. The
amazing
African American
Research Library
and
Cultural Center.
Historic Sistrook neighborhood for Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, that was a good ad. Wouldn't have gotten that one. How are we sounding?
You sound great. I'm waiting for the other mic.
Test. Is the other mic on? No.
There's a delay.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's literally
just
waiting.
wait for us. But yeah,
Right.
this center has been a really cool spot. We're in the auditorium, and they had a great lineup of speakers, short, to the point, all sorts of content, all for people over profits.
It really has been a fabulous day. This is day one, and this was considered their leadership training. Tomorrow, we're going to have a boot camp. We've got the agenda behind us. You may not be able to see it, but if you're in the Fort Lauderdale area, we are here at the African American Research Library and Cultural Center in Fort Lauderdale, and you are welcome to attend. So,
not only welcome, encouraged. I think the thing that went through my mind multiple times today was, man, I wish so-and-so was here. Man, I wish so-and-so would be listening to this. Because the content is educationally driven, but on points that a lot of people have talked to me about. They've asked questions about, well, how do I go about this? Or how do I get involved? Or who's doing things? You know, we learned about action groups like the Virginia Student Power Coalition.
Right.
Like
What happened in New York? Other states. I mean,
yeah.
even
Cross, it was like a case study across the country of where activism is working and how they're going about it. And then it was like a playbook, and they even have the playbook for it. So today was just leadership driven to focus on, well, how do we as leaders in our community dig into the topics of advocacy, and how can we be effective in things like fundraising and communications and getting our points across. And so really great for the leadership. And tomorrow is meant for you and me. You know, somebody who doesn't necessarily know what they're doing, and a lot of times still is fed up and wants to say something and get involved and do something. So I think it's the time to take advantage of the free training and come out and learn more from the experts from other states.
Right, people who've done it.
Yeah.
What did you get today?
I spoke.
3 takeaways?
A big takeaway is that this movement is bigger than just Florida, right? 100%. This movement isn't just about, this is definitely a movement about people first rather than monopoly and crony capitalism, right? Balancing out the inequities that we have, basically of problems created by bad policy, that make things more, add problems like the quality of product, access issues, and ultimately cost. You know, at the end of the day, this all becomes an access problem, right? So those were my big takeaways, and just seeing how everybody else is acting on this, and that it isn't just a monolithic conversation like it is in Florida.
Right. Well, I loved that you were talking about monopolies and crony capitalism. I don't know that you can say if we have 28 license holders in the state of Florida that we have a monopoly, but we definitely have crony capitalism. We definitely have a system that is designed to profit a few And where at the end of the day, the patient is the big loser. Not only are we footing the bills for these people because, well, we're the client that is paying them for a service, we're buying their product, but we're funding regulation that we don't agree with.
Market discipline was the phrase that I took away today. Market discipline. The idea that a consumer might be so fed up with the policy or how the market is running, yet still has no choice,
Right.
has no say in how that is happening, and that is a sure sign that we do have a corporate led industry rather than consumer and patient focused. And so I feel like today hearing that and reminding our folks that, deadline to register to vote is coming up on Monday for the primaries. And that's where the initiatives start. And so getting involved and really hearing about what's happening in your community is going to be critical in helping to keep market discipline, because you need to know what businesses are out there, and then you need to know the legislators and how they're supporting those businesses or supporting the small businesses that you might want to see more of that support.
Super valued.
Yep.
Remember Shanel?
Hi, everyone.
Shanel was with us last week talking about what we were doing.
I'm not in a car this time. I'm actually.
Well, we could be in a car.
Yeah.
Driving smoking a big
That's right.
Wait, not in Florida. Tell me though, we're doing takeaways.
Yes.
Did you have some takeaways from today?
Yeah. So today was. I feel like my cup was filled today. And what I mean by that is I love when we all get together and we talk about our strategies and we just have an honest discussion about what's happening, what's working, what barriers we're seeing. And, the talks today ranged from inspiring to infuriating to disappointing. But really it was an opportunity for us to all learn from each other. And I really enjoyed that. And so, today was fantastic. I'm excited for tomorrow. I also only slept 2 hours last night. So, so my takeaway is that I'm going to get some rest tonight. And then we'll see the public tomorrow. So it should be really exciting.
And we're still inviting people to come.
Yes. Yeah. So definitely come out. There's great food. Wasn't the food great today?
The food was really
great. We kept everybody fed. And then we're gonna have an after party tomorrow too. So we'll have an opportunity to have some fun, and we are a fun group. I would say you guys are fun. We're fun people. So
we're putting the fun back.
Exactly. Please, everyone come out tomorrow. We're here in Fort Lauderdale, and we're gonna be here from 10 to 4:20 tomorrow, talking about these important things, and having even more community building and consensus building around these things that we know are just so important.
And we really want to see Floridians come out.
Yes.
We had a great panel of folks today. We had a lot of Floridians in the room that are influencers, right? Tomorrow we want to give you everything we have. If you have been considering this, if it's something you're passionate about, maybe you come to learn, maybe you come to share, right? Because we have some of both. But I'll tell you what, I'm a snob, and at the bottom of my evaluation, you said, what else do you want us to know? I would attend again.
Yeah, I love that, Jodi.
Yeah,
we need your approval. That's the highest bar.
I would attend again. Well, yeah, 100%, because we absolutely, I got one thanks. We absolutely need to be sharing the strategic strategy, the strategic lessons, the failures, what didn't work. Whoops.
Yeah. And I found it was really interesting to hear about Virginia. They just had some really big wins. So it's really nice to understand and hear about where we are making strides and also where the challenges still, exist. And
we've been reporting on Virginia kind of ad hoc, watching, we report the news most weeks. We have a little news segment. And Virginia was kind of back and forth.
Oh, yeah. It was down to the wire.
And then she
Let's say today it was overtime at the Super Bowl.
That's right. It really was.
Triple overtime at the Super Bowl.
Right.
We didn't, as Florida Cannabis Action Network, until this year, we had never tried to do something through the budget reconciliation. So we were doing that same strategy here in Florida, trying to get some policy that hadn't gotten to the finish line into kind of some of that budget language. We weren't as successful, but they were 100% successful. That's how they overcame some of their difficulties there in Virginia.
Like Hector was saying, something new. Got to try something new.
Got to do something new. Right. That was a great icebreaker. We did a little icebreaker. One word of what you bring to it. So I'm Jodi James. What do you mean one word?
Right. Oh, I know that was the challenge, right? That also identifies the rabble rousers real quick, you know? How many words you go over one is directly proportional to how much you'll be interrupting a row, you know? It's like when the flight attendants, when they say hi to everybody coming on, it's more than just hi. You're just kind of, checking it out. Thank you so much, ladies. I cannot wait until tomorrow. And
us too.
I'm looking at the schedule, and just to kind of give you an idea, because I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but getting that history, the cannabis history here from Florida Cannabis Action Network, we're going to give you that information, but also discussions on things like rescheduling, patient updates, cannabis and immigration. A really hot topic, especially with our student action groups. They've really been focusing on that policy around immigration and around affordable housing, and how they're interconnected.
So that we went kind of fast through that, but I will tell you that cannabis rescheduling discussion is happening from one of the policy folks from Drug Policy Alliance.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the top think tanks in the United States working on drug policy control. The woman who's giving the patient update is Steph Scheer. She was one of the founders of Americans for Safe Access. That was actually funded by Cannabis Action Network in California after Prop 215 passed. Hallelujah, patients are going to be great. It's going to be fabulous. We've got buyers clubs. It's going to be great. And then the federal government started to really crack down on patient access. And Americans for Cannabis Action Network, they had passed medical marijuana. In California, they were teaching principles of adult use. Right? Because that's what's next, is now responsible adult use. And then they found all these patients were being persecuted. Buyers clubs were being shut down. Feds were raiding patients in small gardens. And so Steph Scheer and Americans for Safe Access was able to take lead on that. And Steph worked at the WHO to help the World Health Organization update their information on CBD, which led to the removal of CBD from the International Controlled Substance Act. So this is definitely people who have been there, done that. We are thrilled. I see there's some more on Virginia. One of the women who was working on Virginia. Alabama, I don't know if you have been paying attention to what's happening in Alabama, but Alabama has actually been kind of a real bleep show for a number of years now. So we'll be glad to hear that. Come on in. This is my new friend, Laurie.
Hello.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Jodi. How are you?
Wow, better for having met you.
Oh man, that means a lot.
We kind of grooved,
right?
Yeah, I like it.
The energy,
wow.
The joy and the energy. The whole
was that what was your one word on your icebreaker? Do you remember?
Excitement.
I can believe that one. And are you still feeling some of that? We're tired.
I am feeling extremely excited. The fatigue is real. Right, but the energy in the room was able to carry us through. I loved your piece. I think I mentioned this to you earlier.
Appreciate that.
I'm an educator by nature, and I love the fact that the way you presented the information, you pulled me in. I wanted to learn more.
Nice. I noticed they gave me 15 minutes tomorrow instead of 10, so I must have done pretty good today.
See? That's an upgrade.
I get that extra 5 minutes. For those of you who didn't get to see the presentation, I had 10 minutes this morning, and my favorite part was like the last 2 minutes. I just played a clip of one of our Florida lawmakers from 2017. And she's like, you guys are just making this so complicated. I'm from the 50s and it's easy. We all know about weed. You want weed, you just put it in a plant, or you take a seed, you put it in a pot and it grows. You talk like this has to be on hallowed ground. And, you know, those are some of the things, those laws and regulations, and where they took it out of that pot in the ground and put it into hallowed ground, that has caused the rise of big cannabis business and the decline in patient care. So tell people what you are doing these days and where you're doing it at, please.
Absolutely. So I do a lot of things. I usually wear a hat and many hats, figuratively and literally. But I'm an attorney. I have practiced in cannabis for over 10 years now. I'm also a professor of cannabis law at Suffolk University Law School in Boston and at Clark University in Worcester. I am the education director for the Parabola Center. Massachusetts girl, but I was raised in Haiti, Port-au-Prince, Port-au-Prince lady.
All right, take it. Own it. So, that's right.
Yeah, I'm a melting pot of various cultures.
Nice.
And a lot of my work, to be honest with you, if I'm going to boil it down, it's bringing spirit back to plant medicine. And I loved the fact that you brought up the video that you talked about, because what she was essentially talking is, stop complicating this. This is a plant that grows from the ground. And more importantly, it's a weed. It's not that difficult to grow. And what she was pointing to is the misguided, effort to make marijuana grow difficult as a tool to limit access to the industry. Uh-huh. They use that to put in extremely difficult and arduous regulations for you to comply with, so that those who are most capitalized can access the industry. And what I would like is for the plant to go back to the people. We don't need this much regulation. We really don't. In fact, in Massachusetts, we're dealing with labs that aren't even trustworthy. So they say, well, we need to have safer weed. Okay, but your labs aren't even consistently testing products according to a standard protocol. Right. You can fail for mold in this lab and then go shopping around and pass for another lab. So what are we even talking about here? Right. Public safety. We can't even eat lettuce in America right now, and we talking about weed. Like, get out of here.
100%, right? And I've had more. I've had 3 girls in my house the last 6 weeks. I've had more Taco Bell than I've had in 10 years in the last 6 weeks.
So, I mean, I don't know if they're talking about public safety. Public safety, again, we have to be careful with the use of language to confuse people 100%. and to misguide people.
Right. I worked in the diamond industry in my early incarnation. So when I came to the cannabis space with business industry experience, the business that I was in was the diamond industry. And, you know, there are more rules and regulations over how we retail cannabis than there were on how we retailed diamonds. I mean, we knew our product was valuable, and as a company, we took precautions to safeguard that. Our corporate headquarters wasn't someplace where people knew. You know, our people who were transporting diamonds were armed. We knew these things. In Florida, for you to transport cannabis, you have to have 2 people in the car at all times, because one's got to look at the other one to make sure you don't steal. That's in the law. We had it figured out, and we had diamonds.
Yeah.
Just saying. Exactly. We don't need it. We don't need it. The problem I see is we started with Schedule 1, right? It's federally illegal because it's so dangerous. And now we have regulated it like it's dynamite.
Right. But that was a concerted effort.
100%.
The people writing the regulations were those who were well capitalized. I'll take Massachusetts, and who were able to create a seed to sale vertically integrated business. And they wanted to keep it that way because they wanted oligopolies and they wanted monopolies.
The interesting thing that didn't get discussed enough for me maybe today is the role that law enforcement has in all of this. You know, that's the one thing I mentioned in my presentation, the GEO group. And of course, they operate private prisons. In Florida, the Sheriff's Association doesn't want to give up the revenue from small arrests. My cousin got arrested in a county in Central Florida, and part of his probation fee went to fund drug-free Charlotte.
Wow.
He paid $5 a month for a different county's drug-free program because they had managed to get it into law. Marijuana Village does not want to give up marijuana disorder as a forced treatment, because if they give it up, Marijuana Treatment Village doesn't exist anymore. The drug testing industry, they're not getting rich testing for barbiturates. They're getting rich testing for cannabis.
Right.
If we can monopolize the industry, we can make it so very few people can get involved. We can keep the prices high so very few people want to use it. And if we don't change the rules surrounding it, we can keep people from using it all the time. So we've spent 25 years trying to get people access. And we might be further away than we were when you could just say, hey, Jodi, man, can I get a joint?
Right.
Because when we could do that, we would go and we would share the sacrament, or we would share it, and you would feel better.
Yeah. Almost as the ceremonial, the ritual,
Right.
the social.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
That's lacking in the medical.
So very interesting. You're going to be fighting an initiative in Massachusetts. We've been kind of watching. Any idea what kind of topics there? What are they going to throw out to try and pass the initiative to roll back your marijuana program?
Obviously, they always want to get folks to spread lies.
Right.
So what the main lies that always get people is, oh, the kids.
Right.
You don't care. I mean, not to jump topics, but y'all ain't caring about the kids getting shot up in their schools, but you're caring about things that aren't even real. So they'll say that.
Right.
But I have surveyed some of my elders.
Okay.
It's because I wanted to see how they're going to vote at the polls. And my mom, obviously, she's not going to vote against my interest, but she's saying her concern is that she smells it in the street. She doesn't like the smell. And other folks don't like the billboards. So those are the two main things.
Okay.
But those hurdles are able to be overcome with education.
100%.
And I think like the way I educated my mother, she's fine with it. And I think I can do the same thing with my other aunts and other people in Massachusetts. But I think we're going to see a lot of lies about kids using it, people driving under the influence and the impacts of that. I think we're going to see a lot of that type of news get through.
100%. So I think that's probably our program for today. Thank you very much for popping in, Ms. Laurie.
Muchas gracias.
Benny, did you have something you wanted to add today? Did you have some takeaways?
Hi, everybody. Good to
Hola.
see you all.
Bye.
Bye, Laurie. It's good to have you. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Before we wrap up, anything that you want to share? Any takeaways from today?
The takeaway from today is that we definitely need to network more as an organization with other organizations. Like they've been saying, I think we're missing out on building like that coalition that they're talking about, because the more numbers we get at the Capitol, the more they're going to listen to us. And I know Tallahassee is far away for a lot of us, but I think if you can make it up just one day and show that there's this many people who have such passion about the subject, they're going to pay attention and they're going to notice what's going on. So I think Parabola is a great way for us to just find that there are these other types of smaller groups and areas that we're not looking at.
March 9th, 2027 is going to be the Cannabis Day at the Capitol. Florida Cannabis Action Network is going to be bringing education. We're going to be bringing access. We're going to teach you how to advocate on this, and we're going to give you some tools. Again, that's March 9th, 2027. Looking forward to it. And I think Benny's right. Numbers matter when it comes to something like that, and we would love to have you.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough. Take action. Come to this meeting tomorrow if you have the time to come out. Come into the meeting. We only covered half of the schedule, but I know that if you go to our website, FLCAN.org, or if you look for the Parabola event, it's an Eventbrite. price is right. You can get free education. You can make a donation if you have it in you to do so. But get the education tomorrow, then plan to get involved with FLCAN.org to continue to learn about the local level. We'll be doing ambassador weeks where we'll be having our local regions getting together and going up to Tallahassee and meeting during committee weeks. And then you're going to have the chance to also be there for the lobby day where all of the regions come together. And as a state, we give as much education as we can about our policies and a great series of ways that you'll be able to take action and meaningful ways that you can do it. And don't forget to register to vote.
Virginia student power.
Oh my God!
There was another word. We were talking
come over
about
here.
you.
Come and sit up here.
Oh,
Come sit up front.
Front and center. Okay. Welcome. Good to have you. We actually have been talking about Virginia, and we kind of butchered the name of your student organization. So would you give us the name of the organization again, please?
Yes, we're Virginia Student Power Network, and we're a statewide organization that works with youth leaders all across our state, especially those that have gone to a public university or maybe they've graduated.
Okay. So introduce yourself. Tell the audience, can we see you? Come my way a little bit more.
Hey, y'all. My name is Colette Harris. I am the executive director of the Virginia Student Power Network, and we are a proud member of the Virginia Canna Justice Coalition, the coalition that helped to lead the fight that just led to Virginia being the first state in the South to legalize marijuana, and also establish a retail market that we're really proud of, that hopefully will center racial equity and not let these corporations just come in and blow over our state with their monopoly.
Okay, well, we'll see. And your market starts June 1st, 2027.
July 1st, yes.
July 1st, 2027. We have been kind of reporting on it. We were talking about kind of you guys were right to the finish line, right? Because it was happening, it wasn't happening, it was happening, it wasn't happening. And then people worked behind the scenes into the budget and got the concessions that were enough to get the governor to sign off on it, right?
Yeah, so I really have been telling folks that it was people power that allowed us to have this win. Our coalition worked for about 6 years to make this happen, so half a decade of building pressure, building narrative, and also building stakes for our community members, so that by the time we got to the point where we had Abigail Spanberger become our governor, we had already had 4 years of a Republican governor to perfect our strategy, to perfect the language in the bill, to be something that we really felt great about. And so once we got to this point, we said, well, this is our Super Bowl. This is the year we're going to see it. And unfortunately, it wasn't as easy as we thought that path would be this session. And so in Virginia, session goes from January, and usually it depends on the year, but it can be 30 or 45 days or 60 days.
Okay.
This was one of the long sessions, 60 days. Okay. And we got out of there. We passed this bill through the legislature again.
Right, and that's amazing.
We were so happy about it. We fought mandatory minimums along the way, all types of little battles. But then it gets to her desk, and she sends back a bunch of amendments to it that made it to the point where it didn't look like our bill anymore. And it was criminalizing our communities again. And so, unfortunately, we weren't supportive of those amendments. But what we learned was that we had built enough pressure within the legislature that they rejected her amendments.
How exciting.
And so this is like, we're sitting on the edge of our seat at this point because they've gavelled out. And so the session is over. We're like, okay, we've lost. We're going to come back
next year. We'll do it.
Yeah. But then overtime starts because we're in the budget season.
Right.
Our folks had to pass a budget by, I believe it was June, maybe July. The months might be a little mixed up, but they had to pass it. And so there's this huge political game happening essentially between the House, the Senate, the administration, and then these data centers. So there were issues that were happening in the ether that also impacted the compromise language. And so what turned from a 400-page bill by itself, our cannabis legislation bill is historically one of the largest bills. Now it's actually inside of this 1,000-page budget. So it got passed along with our whole budget situation. And as you mentioned, there's not a lot of public input in that process.
At all,
So by the
right.
time we get to the budget, we're just hoping that our champions hold us down and that we've built those relationships that will make it so that they are really fighting for our priorities behind those closed doors. But we were still able to educate the public about what our priorities were around like the public consumption fee, and other pieces that we still wanted to see a little bit better. And those are things we're going to have to go back and amend in the next session.
So you mentioned 4 years of a Republican governor. Now you have a Democrat. Do you know the makeup of Republican to Democrat in your legislature off the top of your head?
Yes, we have a trifecta right now.
Okay.
And so our House and Senate both have Democratic majorities, and then we do have a Democratic governor.
Okay. So is there anyone you would shout out as a champion that's been there with you the whole 6 years that you really should name names?
We've definitely, so Chelsea will probably answer this differently, but my answer is we've had different patrons for the bills throughout the years, but I think these two were the right ones this year. And so I really appreciate how Delegate Paul Krizik and especially Senator Scheer fought to the end. And that includes even the misinformation that came out after the budget fight around, I don't know if y'all saw, but there were articles out saying that maybe we accidentally legalized distribution, and there was all types of misinformation coming out. And those folks have been on top of making sure that they're sharing the correct information. And they actually listen to the coalition of stakeholders and experts that have put in so much work.
And you spoke during your presentation in kind of creating your own media, so that the mainstream media knew where to get good information. So you guys did some excellent work there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, is there a local group that's doing what you're doing? Because one thing you made very clear was that the students and the minority students especially had a huge part in your policy shift and the groundwork and the grassroots that you did. So we're here in Florida. Do we have friends? Do you have folks that are
Student
here?
power?
Are there other groups?
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite questions. Yes. Shout out to the Florida Student Power Network.
Yes.
Our
All
siblings.
right. There we go.
Absolutely love you all. And those students are driving 8-9 hours to come to the Capitol building here in Florida as well.
Love you.
So
love you guys.
and we have scholarships for our 2027 Cannabis at the Capitol Lobby Day
Okay.
for students. We had
we
a
will spread
sponsor
it to our
already.
cousins down here. Make sure
Yep.
they know.
We've had a sponsor already come forward that says that they will sponsor students to come. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that works out, but we would love to have a contingency of students.
And I'll just make the case for young people. At least in Virginia, we've done some data, and it also follows the national trend that Black and brown young people, especially those driving in their cars, 18 to 24, are actually those that are most impacted by the marijuana enforcement.
100%.
So think of all the things that happen. You can lose federal financial
100%.
aid, no public housing, all types of things for your future. So
Right.
I'll tell y'all young people, please get involved with this organization or any group that's doing drug policy in your community, because prohibition is not the way.
No. And I used to tell people that when I worked on college campuses that my job was to get you through to your degree without a felony.
Precisely.
It was
How nice would that be?
it wasn't a great job,
We
but
don't want
somebody had to
student
do
debt
it.
and a felony.
Right.
We got to choose a struggle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But the campus groups were really instrumental in the 2000s in Florida. When I ran for office in 2002, I was working really closely with the University of Central Florida. They had a normal group.
Nice.
They told me if I ran for House, they'd run for Senate.
Yeah.
So we ended up placing like 4 cannabis advocates from Normal in the college Senate.
It's awesome.
So now you're starting to move college funds, you're moving student fees.
Mhm.
We had great parties thanks to Normal. Yeah, I'm telling
And
you.
then also those different disciplinary things. Schools have a lot of latitude around. I know there's federal law that dictates drug-free school zones,
Right.
but we can take away these zero policy things so it keeps kids in school and actually educate them around these
100%,
substances.
100%. Where the policies they enact online are different, or in campus doesn't have to be the same policies.
Yeah,
that
it
are
doesn't have to
enacted.
end your career because you want
That's
to
right. Thank you very much. That's a great end for us. So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. A pleasure. We'll be back at 4:20 next Friday. So thank you all very much. Colette?
I will just say my summary, the takeaway, cannabis is cool.
Period.
And
Almost mic drop.
it was cannabis is cool and corporations are not so cool.
Oh, okay.
So that was the takeaway. But I'm going to lead back to cannabis is cool.
Cannabis is cool. Mic drop. Thank you very much. Hector, you want to turn us off?
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
See you
Thanks for
later.
popping in. Thank you.